Good evening, welcome to the June 22nd meeting of the Board of Selectmen. If you'd all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And welcome for those of you in attendance or for those of you that are tuning in. Any announcements from the board?
I'd like to welcome David to his first meeting as the newly elected selectman.
Thank you. I'd just like to take a second and thank the folks who did vote for me. There wasn't much choice, but you did have the option of not voting, and what you did. So I do appreciate that. And I'll try to do my best to represent you.
Well, welcome, David. We won't be too abusive with you as the junior selectman for only for a matter of a few weeks. But the only thing that I want to remind everybody, even though we did not see a tag-a-bag program go through, we do want to certainly encourage everyone to continue to recycle if you are a recycler, or start recycling if you are not. We will be later this year installing a new compactor that will do all of the household recycling type material so that we can haul more per load. So the congestion that happens to be up there currently with the two compactors that are in use will get some relief as we install the new compactor for recyclables. So you'll see that later this summer when we go forward and install that. So anyway, again, thanks for those who support recycling efforts within the municipality, and we appreciate your efforts, and encourage anyone that doesn't recycle to please start recycling. We had an appointment, but that has been canceled. Hearing a delegation. Joe, any wise words of wisdom tonight? Or? Okay. Right into just correspondence. There is some information here that we received, the ballot for election to MMA's Legislative Policy Committee. We do finally have a formal response from RSU 57 Superintendent Frank Sherman, and there's a copy of the letter from Sheriff Ouellette relative to medical marijuana dispensary locations located within York County, and I think he really addresses the 14 small rural towns in his letter. So we want to read through that and digest it. It is there for that purpose. Reports. Nancy?
The $15,149.88 telephone bill from last June. I got a call from OTT Communications, which is AKA's Country Network. They're going to forgive that amount.
Oh, good.
They are going to join forces with other telephone companies, and they're going to try to stop this from happening again, because it happened through other telephone companies. So they're just going to join forces, and they're going to carry on.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, yeah.
That's been hanging on for a year.
And we're putting in the budget, so it'll be in Trio July 1st. There will be reports will be a little different, because new departments have been set up for the IT department, municipal facilities, trying to remember all of them. Ross Corner, the hydrant rental, those are going to be taken out. So all you're actually gonna see in the departments is their operational expenses. The leases, everything is just gonna be separate, just like it was on the warrant.
Great.
And then we'll put it in the revenues.
Okay. And is has Ron and the folks shown up to do some preliminary work on
Yes,
the year-end closing?
yes. They will be back once everything is reconciled.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Selectmen's report?
I have some stuff.
Tammy Jo.
Couple of things. First of all, there was a citizens initiative to try and get a recount on question 1 on the sidewalk initiative. Unfortunately, they only had 24 hours to try and collect 100 signatures, and they were able to collect 87, so it was shy 13 signatures, but definitely want to thank Roger Maycumber, who took the initiative to try and collect the signatures, and I know he had gotten some help, Lakeside Market. I believe Heath and Merrill's both put out petitions for a day. Scott Oman tried to collect some signatures as well, so for only having a brief period of time to, the fact that they were able to collect at least 87 signatures was a good thing, but unfortunately that recount won't be happening. Last night we had the 12-town group meeting here, and the focus last night was on the relationship between municipalities and Augusta. Joe Wagner and Andrea Bolin were guest speakers last night, and it was actually a very engaging conversation. It went on for about 2 hours, and I think could have gone on longer, but it was time to wrap it up, and there was some other business to conduct. But just some of the highlights of the conversation started right off with the state budget and where we are with that. When the state did the budget, they projected that there was going to be a 6-month extension of extra Medicaid payments. However, Congress has yet to act on that, and if they do not, then the state is going to be looking at an $85 million deficit. So we have that to look forward to. We talked about, as a group, the collaboration between the towns and their representatives, and that was very enlightening to see that we have a very active representative, and so I just wanted to thank Joe very much. He absolutely is very engaged in the district that he's representing, and some of the other towns, they do not see their state representative. They don't have regular contact with them, and that's certainly something that we are very fortunate in, that we have a representative that's here, that's engaged and knows what's going on in the communities that he serves. So I think that was good job, Joe. We all collaboratively agreed that we need to have a two-way form of communication with Augusta. It isn't just Augusta's responsibility to communicate with us, it's ours to communicate with Augusta as well. And sometimes maybe we need to be the one to take the initiative to be more engaged with our representatives. Maybe with our senator, we need to start making sure that we're sending minutes of our meetings, agendas, formal invitations to attend some of our meetings. We need to make sure that as a town and as the 12-town group, that when there's hearings that are coming up in Augusta that are important to us, that we have a presence there, that we're sending in perhaps written correspondence and written testimony about issues that are important to us. We talked about the difference between the House and the Senate, about public hearing versus work groups and some of the committee works. MMA discussed MMA, how they're representing us, and their legislative policy board. And then after we had that conversation, we were just talking about how individual municipalities are operating. So that was a good meeting. There's no July meeting. The next meeting will be in August. And the group would like to continue the conversation that we had last night, but asking some different representatives to come in and kind of get it different flavor, some ideas. So we'll be doing that in August. The other thing I wanted to bring up was brought to my attention today is apparently we've had some vandalism over at Friendship Park. We've had some artists apparently that decided to display some of their artwork on the facility. The Parks and Rec Department has been made aware of it, and I would just say, residents that are out there, if you see kids that are loitering about probably after hours, certainly make sure that you give the Sheriff's Department a call, and I think Pam's already been trying to contact Sean and let him know so that he takes some extra swings through and try to make sure that we don't have another problem.
I would say last night, too, it was very, very interesting, but one of the things that we should pay a little bit more attention to is as you had mentioned, and that is that in sitting in committee, both Joe and Andrea had mentioned that even though you have some long, long days with a lot of testimony, the testimony does count. So going up there and speaking to your committees that are having hearings, it's a good way to have your view counted strongly. I mean, if there's 50 people that testify and you're one of them, you're heard.
Anything else?
Nope.
Anybody else? All right. Committee report, Old Home Days. Cindy, look right up to the mic. Don't be intimidated by the mic. The camera may be a little bit, but the mic.
Already concerned.
We don't have buzzers here, so.
Oh, come on, get the book. Good evening. I'm Cindy Durney, and I'm on the Waterboro Old Home Days. And I'm presenting our report. The last time we were in was March 30th, and the format that we passed in, I'm going to kind of keep to the same format so we can just update you as we went along. Our fireworks is booked. We've made a $4,500 deposit, so the deposit due is $4,641, and we make that check and we hand it to them that night, the night of the event. The update for the parade, again, we have 3 cars booked from Lee Auto, and we have 2 groups coming from the Shriners. But since then, we've have our grand marshals picked. We picked Sandy and Leo Burnett from Lakeside Market, Colin Canning Jr. for FET for the fishing tournament that they do at Old Ossipee Lake in February, and Ray Pelletier from the Milk Room. The committee decided on this group because of their input to the town in the past and as our town grows. Police, fire, janitors, and potty toities, everything seems to be kind of in place for it. Our updates is that, again, we're getting our potty toities from G&F Septic, and they were very gracious. We've had them for quite a few years, but this year they've actually come down on their price. They're usually $16.25, and they're giving it to us for $1,500. So we really want to thank them because that was really very spectacular, and they've been doing it for quite a few years. So we are looking at a total for that part of the budget still to be around $3,900. The children's tent, we have our 1,000 gifts, yoo-hoo! And we're very excited about it. That day, so far, for the expenses that we spent $328.10. But because of the local businesses, we have all the 1,000 gifts. And we want to thank Hannaford's and Subway, Martin's, Walmart, and Canning & Son, because they've donated items and lots of great stuff. So it should be, and the kids really enjoy that. The entertainment budget is where we came down a lot. We submitted a budget for around 3,500, and we came in at a total of 1,400. Friday night, we have a DJ for $300, and the Bush Pilots, which is Ed Estabrook and Toby Gilmount. They're instructor pilots, and they set up at 5 o'clock at night, and they teach the children to fly all the planes, and it's just spectacular. And this year, they have come down quite a bit on their price. And we really enjoy them, so, you know, the kids really line up to fly these planes. And the DJ, we heard, is really spectacular, too. The rides will be set up and opened on Friday night, and we've heard from them, and there's going to be 2 more larger rides for the teenagers. Last year, they kind of brought quite a few items just for the younger ones. But this year, they've called, and they said that they found 2 more, so that they're going to bring them. On Saturday, again, we start with our parade, and we have the lawnmower races, we have cribbage, we have Dan Perkins, who's a ventriloquist. He's coming at 2 o'clock. He is going to come a half hour earlier with his puppets, and then give the hour show, and then a half-hour show afterwards, so you can meet the puppets again in case the kids want to have their pictures taken with them. At 3:30, Mark Kelly is going to come on. He's a piano player, and he sings and kind of just does kind of like a variety type show. And he has been, I do want to personally thank him because he was really spectacular in helping with our entertainment on Saturday. And then we have a live band coming in at 6. They're the Rips, and they're quite familiar around this area. They play in Sanford, and they've played at quite a few fields. So we're looking forward to having them too. So again, our total budget was $1,400. So we're really, really thrilled, and I think it's going to be a nice entertainment. Okay, the miscellaneous items. Again, we have really no total yet. We have to kind of wait until it's all in, because we have ordered our trash bags. Thank you, Pam. And this year, under that, our expenses come in because we have to decorate the trailer, and we have to have duct tape. We have to replace some flags, and it's usually at the end when we can submit that last part of the budget. But these are some of the things that we have. The trailer this year was donated by Doug Foglio. Ice for the whole weekend was donated by Waterways Coffee Shop, which is really great, Water for all the volunteers, again, this year was donated by Poland Springs, so we have water from Thursday night when we set up the tents until Monday afternoon when we finish up. All the golf carts, again, were donated by ABL Golf Carts, and they've been doing it for quite a few years, and it's been spectacular having them. Gift certificates were given to us from Hannaford's for food, so we can pay feed our volunteers as the weekend goes. The dumpsters were donated for the weekend by D&E Rubbish. And also we have, that's not on the list, we've had pizzas donated from the House of Pizza for Monday when we have the cleanup, because we're there from 8 o'clock in the morning till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon while we clean up, and they've donated pizzas for us for lunch, which is nice. Subway has donated again this year all the subs for Thursday night when we set up for our fire department when they come and set up our tents, so that's really very nice of them. Advertisement, we have only used a little bit. We have budget $800. We've used some of the budget for ads for our Foxwood trip, and for our, the Eagles put on a bike run for us, and we had to buy the posters, so that came out of this advertising budget. But this week there's an ad in, next week the next 2 weeks there's going to be half-page ads, and we're going to run, if we have some issues that were on the ballot for tonight, or we have an issue with our parking, so we're going to make sure that that's advertised if it passes. I put underneath here the Foxwood trip. We did have a wonderful time at the Foxwood trip. We did have the 42 people that came. We made $764 for the day, and it was wonderful. A lot of winners on the bus, so that was really good. The Eagles, as I said, ran a bike run for us on the 12th, And in total, we had collected the canisters that morning, so we kind of put it all together because we had to purchase the food for the event. And for that day, we made $426.82. So, I kind of wrapped all that up with the advertisement, but we still should probably use almost all of our $800. I think it's going to come in around $720 because of the half-page ads that are coming up. The booklet, as we talked about last time, we did update the prices. We did go up on our prices for the booklet. We did have the $2,500 copies made. At our last meeting, our last presentation to you, our bill was going to be $2,244 to have the booklets printed. We did look around and we found the Times Record in Brunswick. It's a different book, it's a different style book, but they were able to print it for us for $600, which saved us quite a bit of money, thank heavens. And Carrie DeAngelis of KL Design and Marketing did all the layouts, and she had given us an estimate in the beginning of $360. And even though we changed the format halfway, which was kind of not fair to her because we said now we're going to a different style, she gave us a bill of $300. So that was really quite spectacular of her, and we want to thank her. Updates on the vendors. So far, we have $3,340. It's almost the same amount of vendors that came last year. So they are coming back even though we did up our price. And I think that's just about it. I think I've covered almost every area. Do you have any questions? But so far, as we look at all our totals on the date on the 16th of last week, we are, according to when we started in with our budget into where we are now, we're only $333 short. So we still have vendors coming in, made a deposit today, so at the next report, we will have the final totals. But we've cut everything, and so we're only down to like $333. So I think we're doing pretty good. We're all pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be a wonderful event. And can I answer any questions?
Questions, comments?
Just a comment, commend the Old Home Days Committee because I know how much effort you all have put into this event you do every year. And, you know, encourage the residents to go. It's one of the very few things that we have in this community that's an actual, true community event. But, you know, kudos to the committee for all your
Well,
work.
we've done a nice job, and we also want to thank Dave for putting our ads on the TV. He's been just absolutely spectacular. Any other information? Later on, we had one issue last year with our parking. So we are coming up in front of you shortly to talk about parking issues. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well done. All right, before we go into the bulk of the agenda, do we want to add in the executive session at the end of this thing?
So moved.
So we'll be adding an executive session, if I can get a vote here,
Second.
in accordance with MSRA.
4061, 4051A. Butchered that one.
All right. Been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Opposed? All right. Anything else we need to adjust the agenda with? Okay, let's dive into it. Yeah. New business.
Can we back up? I forgot. The closure of the transfer station on July 4th, we have to have that as an agenda item. It's mentioned in our packet, but
Why would we want to close it for the, no. If somebody want to add it to the agenda, we can discuss it.
I'll make a motion that we add the topic of closing the transfer station July 4th to the agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Added under item 11, under new business. All right. Anything else? I don't want to rush you.
Nope. That's it.
All right. All right, discuss vote to sign assessment, maintenance, and reevaluation maintenance agreements in your packets. The agreements from Jerry are there. What is your pleasure? Yeah, there's assessing maintenance agreement in the amount of 31.2. That'll go through June 30th of 2011. Which includes, I think, the monthly stipend plus the mileage stipend. And the reevaluation maintenance agreement is $7,000, and that's broken down into a monthly stipend in that agreement as well.
Now, why is the mileage a flat fee instead of paying actual mileage?
I think in the past, he's kind of averaged out what the miles that he's done. Some years it's greater, some years it's less, but I think it was easier from his perspective anyway, and I'm going based on some of the conversations over the past couple of years anyway, that it was easier for him to submit it that way than...
Well, 50 cents a mile, that's 7,200 miles a year.
Yeah. Well, you got, right, it's 300 a month, right? So 3,600, 7,200 miles is right.
I guess I'd rather see an actual mileage in the future.
Does he put an actual mile down or report, Nancy, or is it just based on what we're paying him total?
I think he's just, and that's the mileage.
Okay.
I'll move that we accept the assessing maintenance agreement as written.
Do we have a second? Anybody?
I'm wondering if does that include the mileage as it exists now?
That includes the mileage.
I'll second it so we can have discussion.
All right, been moved and seconded. Discussion. I sense there's an issue with the mileage, so why don't we start with that? Yeah, why don't you have him step in here? If he's in the building, we might as well talk to him, as to speculate.
So, does he send in a mileage report at the end of each month?
No,
No.
he just sends in according
A
to...
request for the $300?
According to the...
I think, I think one of the things, I don't know what kind of mileage he puts on, but it makes more sense to be consistent and record the mileage at the going rate. This is good for budgeting, but
Jerry?
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Question on the assessing maintenance agreement. There's a
Yes.
flat rate of actually $3,600 for mileage. The question is...
2,600, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Got it.
300 a month.
Yep, I'm
Right.
sorry. Yep.
So the question is that represents 7,200 miles for the year. And I guess an explanation of, is that average, is that an overage that we, I mean, because if we go forward with this, we're gonna send you, we're gonna give you $300 a month whether you travel that distance or not.
That's been historically the calculation. I think that was slightly higher when gas mileage was going through the roof. But that's been about a constant for the year, yeah. So the answer to your question is, yeah, it would be the same mileage, the same stipend.
So is there an issue if, do you have an issue if we said, well, we would pay actual mileage in lieu of a standard flat rate?
If that's what the board decides to do, I have no problem with it. At the standard rate of what, 50.5?
You know, whatever we're paying now, I
50.
guess.
It's not .5, okay.
Rather than
50 cents
rather
flat
than
business
put a
miles
specific
driven.
amount in there, why don't we add language that says whatever the rate is set by General Services Administration, which is the government standard in
IRS?
cooperation with IRS.
IRS would be I would think the one year.
Yeah. That way we don't have to change it, and it could
Yeah, I
fluctuate.
will,
It could fluctuate.
I'm going to do it, I'm going to retract the motion to accept this as written. I don't know if you can accept the second, to retract that, no, make it on the motion.
Withdraw your second?
I would draw my second, yeah, I didn't know why he
Yeah,
couldn't just
I'd make a
amend it.
motion to go along with this contract to be paid at the rate, the mileage rate that the rest of the town is
Okay.
paid at that time. So Jerry would,
So it would be the assessor maintenance agreement as presented, with the exception that the mileage would be, actual mileage would be paid in accordance with the IRS standards, basically, right? I want to second that.
Second.
Discussion on that, or any part of this?
Do we have some type of standardized mileage form that the town uses now that he could use?
So it'd be a flat rate of 31,200 plus whatever the mileage, actual mileage would be.
Yep. You want me to retype that and,
I think
or you want to
before it
leave
gets
it?
signed, we need to, but I don't see that we need to retype it before we vote on it. Any further discussion? Represents about 832 hours is what we're talking about.
Those are real.
Yep. Any other questions? All those in favor? Opposed? All right, we'll get that changed, and the reevaluation maintenance agreement does not address mileage, but addresses approximately 208 hours, of course, across the year.
Mhm.
And this is reevaluation agreement, not the assessing maintenance agreement. So what's your pleasure with this?
Can I ask a question of Jerry first?
Sure.
What is involved with this, Jerry? What-
It's, as you know, we had the revaluation in 2008. Excuse me. And the software we used is being used now. It's in the computer. And what I do is track the sales that we will get on a monthly basis, although it's 6 weeks late, but we do track them on a monthly basis. They come down from the state. These are all the transactions that take place in the town, sales. And we track that to see how they compare with the actual assessments that we have on the properties that came out of the revaluation. The intent is that at any time, if the software we have is not in sync with producing valuations that are, say, acceptable to the state standards, Department of Revenue I'm talking about, then we are able to go into the software and change the parts that need to be changed to accommodate that. And so far, and I haven't done a report for the board yet. I should have one in July. I had it in June last year. You'll be able to see graphically where the comparison lies. So the software we have now is doing fine, but it needs to be compared with the actual market that's out there to see how we are, and that's what that is.
Now, if the prices go down from what it's been evaluated, do the taxes go down?
No. Only because it has to be, you're talking about instances where value has gone down on some property. Lake Arrowhead, for instance. But there are parts of Lake Arrowhead that are over the market value. Not too many, but 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. And we track the ones that are on the water. We also look at the foreclosures, which are not really, according to state statutes, state standards, foreclosures are not really anything that a municipality will track. They're short sales, they're distressed sales, I should say. And the state doesn't include them for municipal revenue sharing. They don't include them for checking municipal valuations. So we do here check our own monthly to see where we are. Right now, the town's assessment ratio is, believe it or not, 104%. So that means that in 2008, when we had a revaluation, we were very close to 100%, maybe 97. The market was still kind of peaking a little, but dropping at the same time. And we're fairly close then to what the state standard is for town values, which is you have to be within 10% range of the values at all times in order to be fair. So what you do is when you do the study, Dave, you throw away the bottom 25%, the top 25%, you use the median, and that's what we do. So the low ones, although they don't contribute to the actual median except for the statistical part, that's what we do. And the software is able to track that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Opposed? All right, so we'll retype the first one, that paragraph, Jerry, and we're ready to go
I'll
forward.
get the language tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Committee appointments. We have a whole host of lists here. So,
I will move that we accept Diane Gray for the EDC.
What is it?
It's
Economic development.
in
and
development.
that is by the
Economic development.
by the guidelines of the committee members, that would be the assessing, the real
Realtor.
estate.
Yep. And she'll be replacing
Diane
Diane
Holden.
Holden.
So, I got a motion,
Second.
any discussion? Everybody knows who Diane is? All those in favor? Opposed? Go ahead. I got a pack, so,
I'll make a motion for Pete Jordan for the Cemetery Committee, John Tufts for the Assessing Board of Review and the Fair Hearing Committee. And then we have a number of applications for road review. And this is a problem that I think is excellent. We actually have more people that have applied for the committee than we have positions available. So I'd like to discuss that.
all
So
right.
I'd start with,
Motion for Peter Jordan, Cemetery Committee, John Tufts, Assessing Board of Review, and John Tufts, Fair Hearing Committee. Have a second for those?
Second.
Any discussion on any one of those appointments? All those in favor? Opposed? All right, let's, I'm gonna try to cull out here the road review stuff.
With road review, we have John Tufts, Donald Drew, and Jim Gendron. And then Pam received an application today from Scott Ullman. There's only 3 openings and 4 people that have applied for positions on the committee. The charter is specific that it's 5 members. Appointing the 4 people that have applied.
But the charter used to say 7, right?
Yep.
We said a minimum of 5.
It says 5, period. It doesn't say minimum or maximum, it just says 5.
So when we change the language in the charter, we put it down to the lower number?
Yep, because we were having a hard time getting enough people to serve
Right,
on the
but I
committee.
thought we left it open that at least a minimum and a maximum. I mean, I don't wanna-
The charter just says 5, correct? What a horrible problem to have. I mean, it's exciting, but
So what are your thoughts?
So I won't make a motion, but my recommendation is you point them all, and so we violate the charter by 1. Thank you very much. We had a charter that says we should have a public safety committee too, and we don't.
yeah. I know that a thought that I had is Donald Drew has been a very long-standing member of that committee. I know that he does have problems, he's not driving nowadays and whatnot, but he does want to be a member and active. And, you know, my thought was, and I talked to Nancy about this a little bit, and I don't know if we need to look into this a little bit further, but maybe having him as an honorary lifetime member based on his, the longevity that he's served as a committee member, and then that would allow us to appoint, so that we would have 5 and then 1 honorary member.
Explain this lifetime honorary members. This is
Or we could do it-
non-voting?
Yeah,
Okay.
it would allow
So
him to
attend the
participate.
meetings, but not be voting.
Yep.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's something that he would be interested in or not. And I don't know if Nancy has to look into that or whatnot, but, you know, he has served on that committee for a lot of years, and certainly would like to see him continue to attend meetings and have his input. But how do we, you know, you don't want to turn down anybody that wants to serve on a committee either. So, like I said, it's a great problem to have.
Yeah, I'd like to see Scott Ullman on that committee. New person that knows his stuff, and he has a lot of, he got a lot of votes for road commissioner, and I think it'd be great to have him on the road review committee for this year.
And Pam looked at the attendance, and we do have 1 member who expires next year who's not meeting the requirements.
Who's the 2 that aren't up?
Roger Maycumber and Ron Perrin.
Again, I'll take whatever motion you want. My recommendation is to appoint the 4 of them, and that's... So, I'd entertain a motion for something.
Well, I'm going to move to accept Scott Ullman as a member of the road review committee. We'll start off with that.
I'd second that.
Moved and seconded for Scott Ullman. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay.
Now what do we do?
I mean, Nancy, what happens if we appoint more people than the charter calls for?
Well, they wouldn't be a voting member, they would just be attending the meeting, like somebody from the public. Yeah. But if you have somebody that hasn't been attending,
then maybe we need to look at that.
You don't have the attendance records
Had to bring it back.
on that pack?
I don't think that one was.
I didn't see road review.
Even if that, wouldn't we have a procedure for removing somebody from a board, we just couldn't arbitrarily? There must be something.
Well, as an alternative, I guess you could get to the point where appoint two of them as regular members and one as an alternate or something.
Just,
I don't think there's anything that prohibits us from putting alternate members on.
Planning board is alternate members.
Right.
Yeah, I would be in favor of that. I'm not in favor of just voting for it in violation of the charter, because I think that, I really don't think that we can take that much leeway with the charter, and it is what it is.
So if we were to do an alternate member, would the board appoint who the alternate member is, or would the committee vote on who? The selectmen?
I make a motion that appoint James Gendron and John Tuss as members and Don Drew as an alternate.
I'd second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you.
And I'd also like to see a letter sent out to the individual who has not been attending the meetings, stating that he needs to start attending or will be removed. Does I have to make that a motion?
I think that's kind of our standard. I think we just need to say, let's go do, let's, we've got several, and I think Pam, if nothing else, next week we need at least all the committees, all of the attendances for all the committees. I know you provided one in the packet, but we probably ought to scrub them all, and we'll take action on the whole group next week. All right, so we've got a few more to go here.
I'll move to accept Jim Carl on the cemetery committee.
Second.
Second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, we now have Roger, who has reapplied for the ZBA, and Richard, who's reapplied for the Cable TV Committee.
I make a motion that both be nominated or appointed.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, I think we just ran out. Okay,
While we're on that, do we want to take up, I thought it was in there, I saw it one time. There was one,
resignation?
no,
No?
there was a group that she listed the meetings and,
Yep. We can deal with that now, or we can wait until we get them all next week.
okay. all right.
Last year, we sent out letters to some. Can we get a list of who letters went out to last year? Because that may make a difference on how we want to handle some of them.
I don't think we do repeats. I think the ones that we addressed last year have been taken care of.
Okay? All right, moving on. Item 3, discuss a vote on Wellhead Protection Ordinance. I believe our vote is to move this to the next step, which is the planning board. So, this is the work that has been done by the Water District to address the wellhead that is now being utilized off from Straw Mill Brook Road. I think what you'll find in here, based on the public hearings that we've had several of over a year ago, and it's kind of lied dormant until then, until now, This increases, there's already wellhead protection zone for that wellhead. This changes some of the definition and expands geographically that wellhead protection zone. So ultimately, it's got to go to planning board for their input.
Make a
And
motion that we
recommendations.
move this on to the planning board.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? I would presume that David and the folks will present that to the planning board, right? Seems like David is on the planning board. I'm not sure how he votes on it. but- All right, item 4, accept resignation from the Finance Committee. In your packet is a request or a resignation from the Finance Committee. What's your pleasure there?
Make a motion to accept the resignation of Brenda Edgley with regret. I know that Brenda has served many years on the Finance Committee as an active participating member. And, so accept her resignation, but with regret.
I will second that and just say that Brenda's been on for a long time and has put in a lot of years of service, and thank her.
All right, been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Opposed? Needless to say, that puts us up to about 3 vacancies on the Finance Committee again. All right, item 5, discuss a vote to sign treasurer's disbursement. This is the policy we look at annually to delegate the authority of the treasurer. Everybody had a chance to look it over. I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to sign the treasurer's disbursement.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. Item 6, discuss vote on no parking for Old Home Days. Request has been made. Cindy, you can back to the microphone.
Good evening again. I'm Cindy Durney, and I'm with the Waterboro Old Home Days. We're putting in a request for a one-day parking policy. What we're asking for is no parking on one side of Middle Road, half mile on one side of Federal Street, and in front of the high school on West Road. And the side is to be posted, the side to be posted is to be left up to the discussion of the town. We are requesting this for the safety of the residents that live on those streets. The event does draw a large amount of people that come to enjoy the day and the fireworks. And parking on these streets, all of those 3 streets, is a safety concern for both the committee and the residents. Fire equipment or emergency vehicles cannot respond to an emergency when parked cars narrow the road. In the past, we have put up no parking signs, and they've been taken down and thrown into the woods, so, and completely ignored. This policy will give the York County Sheriff's Department the right to have the vehicle towed at the owner's expense. So the Old Home Days is requesting to see if you can put in, give us that one day with no parking on those 3 streets.
Okay, so this will be similar to what we did for the fishing derby,
Yes, it is, yeah.
where we actually, around the lake, right, made one side or the other, no
Yeah.
parking, right?
That's right. Yeah.
For
It
that
has
day.
been brought up in the past, the residents, and they're very concerned, and it's pretty obvious driving out to Middle Road that with cars parked on both sides. I mean, it's, Yeah, it's no emergency vehicle, and that's not fair. So that's why we are submitting this. We have put up signs, and we've collected them on Sunday morning because they have been tossed into the woods. So these will be signs, official signs from the town, and the sheriff will be able to enforce this. We will post it in the newspaper if it passes, so that residents and out-of-town people will know that we are going to tow at their expense.
We still have the signs from the fishing derby that was specific. The verbiage was by order of the selectmen and that vehicles would be towed, so we,
Yes, that's, Nancy
We have
said
the
that we
signs
could
already.
use them. Yep.
and we certainly had residents address us last year after the Old Home Days that expressed the
Which is
concerns, so,
legitimate.
yeah.
They are absolutely legitimate. They are- Yeah.
And the real problem is from about 5 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock on, right?
Starting at probably 4, because people come in to have supper, kind of pick their area,
Yeah.
and then, again, like you said, between 5 and 6, they start coming, and they park wherever they want, so that they're in time to eat and grab a space to watch the
So if we have it
fireworks.
all day long, it's really the only time it's possibly going to have people
Yes.
walking a further distances, those people that are coming in
Yes.
for dinner and
That's right.
the fireworks.
We will put them up Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will put them in Saturday morning.
So if you go no parking on one side of Mill Road, basically, I mean, I haven't studied the Mill Road that well, but I'm riding by there. I mean, there is no place to park on Mill Road.
Actually, there is. I mean, there's like a ditch side, but we don't know which side that, you want us to have people come in and park, or last year what we did is when you go off of West Road and take a right, we put the signs on the right side going all the way out. And they were in the woods, and people literally parked on both sides, and so, but there is enough room. It's enough for equipment and for fire trucks, and because there's enough of a ditch.
One of the things that worked well with the fishing derby was having the sheriff's department as like the influx of the largest bulk of the traffic was coming in. The deputies kind of worked in some of those problematic parking areas, because once you get 1 or 2 cars that
That's
park
right.
in that no parking zone, you're done.
I
Everybody
agree.
else is going to
I
park
agree.
there, so maybe a way of tackling this, whereas you're
Yes.
going to have the sheriff's department is
I
kind of
have a
getting
meeting
in
with
that
them next
area.
week to go over all of this, if this passes, to
Yeah.
go over and make sure that those timelines are covered.
Seems like if you can nip it in the bud as soon as it starts,
Yeah,
you should
but I
be.
think more of the professional signs also with your, is going to help.
Comment? If we're gonna do this every time there's a nice derby or a fireworks, why don't you just make it a permanent ordinance?
I think we kind of made the initial step, right? So now this is the second big event that we've had, and I think probably warrants that we dig out the parking ordinance to do it once and for all. I mean, I think we have to at least move forward with this request. I think on the long run, we probably need to revisit the whole parking lot
And address it in the fall, yeah.
and then just deal with it once and put it in place for those, really any event that gives us the authority on any major event to do that. So,
Now, in front of the high school, Cindy, is that both sides or one side?
No, it would be one side.
One side,
It would
okay.
be one side. Last year, we had the cemetery side, and we had put signs up all along there, and they were taken down.
I would make a motion that we grant the request of the Old Home Days Committee to limit parking with the side to be posted as no parking to be determined by the fire chief and the contract deputy with what's in the best interest of public safety.
Second.
discussion that we haven't already had?
There's going to be, are we running into the potential of moving the parking problem from this area now to another area that might be close by that we may want to address while we're right here? 'Cause I mean, those cars have got to go somewhere. They're gonna, I mean,
They park on 4 in the breakdown as well.
I think you gotta,
Yeah.
So,
ultimately, this gotta become, between Sean and Matt, have
Yeah.
to make a determination of which is the most logical sign. And they may very well come back to say, we think you had to add something to this, right? But I think this at least,
Yeah, I've talked
it
about that.
initiates this, and it initiates the action from us to Matt and Sean to say, okay, what are we gonna do? Well, what's the appropriate side to shut down? And they may very well come back and say, yeah, but we need to move some other stuff too.
Perfect.
All right, all those in favor? Opposed? So
Okay.
Pam,
Old Home Days wants to thank you again.
Pam, let's
for-
get a
for all
letter
your
off
help.
to both Matt and Sean saying that we need them to review this.
Yeah, they've got it already.
Okay.
if you could have the IT posted on the town's website too.
Yes, I'll send it over to Dave tomorrow, and we'll get it into the newspaper for the next 2 weeks. Okay?
Okay?
Thank you again.
All right, item 7, discuss vote on hauling contract amendment. Just quick background, I think we had some brief discussion on this before. We are requiring D&E, there is a contract today that he haul all of our bulky waste and whatnot to commercial paving in Scarborough. Unfortunately, commercial paving doesn't have them haul it to Scarborough anymore, so they are now in the Riverside Park. So there is a little bit of a change in distance from what Dean had originally bid on and was awarded in the contract. He's requested an additional $6 per pull. So in lieu of 130 a pull, it's 136. That being said, what we save by going to commercial paving per ton versus what we have been paying at Planet, whatever it is, waste in Gorham, more than outweighs the additional $6 in cost. So, what's he pull, 14, 15 ton?
No.
Not that much, 6 or 7, so it's
But
a couple bucks a ton.
Somebody using last year's figures, it figures up to around $14,300 we saved. And that's, it would be 18.2, but to take that out with the extra $6, we're gonna be saving 15,000.
And Lord knows we can use every dollar that we can save these things.
So by giving him an increase, we're saving money.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's gonna take it to a place that's gonna charge us less for it.
I would think that this is a no-brainer. I'd entertain that motion. I'm so moved.
All right, been moved by
Second.
Gordon, seconded by David. Any discussion?
Now, is it understood, Clint, that if we need something pulled, even though if it's not hauled into Riverside on a weekend, that will be done?
Well, it's Dean's contract.
20 cents.
So Dean's contract,
Okay.
he's agreed to that. So
Okay.
we're all-
So the only thing that's changes is changes where he's hauling it to, the words in the contract, and it increases the pull price from 130 to 136, right? All right, all those in favor? Opposed? Okay. Schedule goal session for July. Let's pick a date and throw it on the calendar.
This, I think we found last time too, that we do best if we put in a good chunk of time. If we try to do it mostly in one shot, like a 4-hour session.
So I would, the first question I would ask is, do we intend to utilize
Tom?
Tom as the facilitator?
I'd like to
Okay, so I think we need to poke around his schedule a little bit, so let's pick a couple of dates, and he's on vacation this week, but
Thursday night?
Well, when a board member's not on vacation.
We want to do a Thursday?
yeah, I would think that that would be at least, maybe let's say the 15th and the 22nd. That gives us a few weeks out.
22nd's not good for me.
All right, how about the 8th and the 15th?
Unless we do it late, like 6:30, 7 o'clock. Otherwise.
It's too late.
Yeah.
So
The 8th
how
or
about
the
the 8th?
15th?
The 8th is good for me, the 8th and the
The
15th.
8th or the 15th?
Or the 15th, yeah, either one.
All right, so let's find out from
Well,
Tom.
you know, we always end up doing a couple of them, so maybe we say the 8th and the 15th, so we can all put it on our calendars now, and then just make sure, and if Tom's not available, we can
Yep.
cancel one.
Talking the 8th and 15th?
Yeah. And/or.
Yep.
And we're gonna do what, start at what, 5? That's a Thursday, 5 to 9.
You have issues with time? You're off of the summer, aren't you?
I can make it.
So why don't we say 5:30-ish? That gives me a little bit of a buffer.
Split the difference, okay.
And if we went from 5:30 to 8:30, I guess, in first session, that ought to